Good afternoon. It is Tuesday, February 28th. Skipped yesterday. I did not game with my buddies, even though it was like the day where I was allowed to, stop isolating from, the caution we were doing after Beth had tested positive for COVID. And like to the point, like, her work, medical field, like told her, yep, come on back to work. So I mean, clearly that's the current way of doing things, but it felt too soon based on years of being told, no, long time of isolation. So I was like, I canceled that, and instead I hung out with Beth after work. So that was nice. I got to see her more. I like that. But I don't get to see her today. Planning on tomorrow, but not today. So on Tuesday I can actually do movie day this week. Imagine that. And I continue to want to just watch a random movie. You don't have to just watch Marvel Cinematic Universe. But at this point, there's only one left in Phase 2. And I figure I might as well just finish that up, pull that box forward on the shelf, and then move on, watch some other movies, things like that. That's kind of what I should do. So I am going to pull out Marvel. And because this time around in Phase 2, it did not end with Avengers, which at the time was like, wait, no, they end with Avengers. Phase 1, it ended when we got to Avengers. We got to Avengers. Shouldn't Phase 2 be over? But no, for some reason, Ant-Man is the final film in Phase 2. And I mean, what's Ant-Man? Let's watch the trailers. He's guy that goes tiny. Is that any good? I don't know. Obviously, moving to some future Avengers movies, gonna be important character and important plot line. But at this point, who's Ant-Man? So I guess I will find out. So I'm gonna settle in and I will watch Ant-Man. And I would give Ant-Man a 7.2 out of 10. Not bad, not bad. Not a superhero movie, but not bad. From Wikipedia. Thief Scott Lang must aid his mentor, Dr. Hank Pym, in safeguarding the mystery of the Ant-Man technology, which allows its user to decrease in size but increase in strength, from various menaces, and plot a heist to defend the Earth. I mean, this movie starts off with this character, Scott Lang, getting out of jail, getting out of prison, and trying to make a life for himself without having to resort to crime. And not doing very well. So when he goes back to crime, he ends up getting mixed up with this Hank Pym, who is looking for a good burglar to train to use the Ant-Man suit, the Ant-Man technology, because the company that Hank used to run got taken from him, and they eventually managed to recreate this Pym particle, this shrinking technology, to make a man super small but super strong. And he does not want that out there. He feels responsible for it, and he's just trying to safeguard it to protect the Earth. Especially as that company's now plot is to get the most money for it by selling it to Hydra. They're good now. So, rather than trust his daughter to use the technology, even though she has the skills, both for the suit, in theory, and for the technology to control and speak to ants, the other part of Ant-Man. But Hank's wife died by going quantum, into the quantum realm, shrunk to the beneath the molecular level, and never to return. And so he does not want to put his daughter in that suit. That is not okay with him. So Scott is expendable. Scott has a reason to try and succeed. Hank can work to make sure that Scott is able to get his life with his daughter back. Be involved in his daughter's life. Again. If he'll help. So we will. And we have, a few different small heists heists, on, the test to see, before Hank hires him, a small heist on what turns out to be the new Avengers facility, where Scott beats up an Avenger, a minor Avenger, a training Avenger, has not done any avenging yet. It's just Falcon, who was really only drafted into the Avengers at the end of the last Avengers film. Did not fight in any of that, but still, beat him up. Got what they needed to be able to finally do the big heist. The heist on the PIM laboratory facility, whatever. Get the new, was it a Hornet or whatever they called it? The new Ant-Man suit that has lasers. But Mr. New CEO, new boss of the place, dons the suit and has battles with Ant-Man. In the sky, in some people's backyard, and eventually in the bedroom of Scott's daughter, as this Hornet is trying to threaten her to get back at Scott. Because he also wants the Ant-Man suit as well. He wants both. But eventually, Scott wins. Scott's ex's fiance, who's a police officer, who has been nothing but trouble to Scott this whole time, helps him out. Helps him make sure that with his involvement in this, that it's, he's on the level. So that he doesn't go back to jail. And so that, because he sees the level he went to protect his daughter, and to protect him, he helps. And that was good. One of those rotten characters who, once they finally see what's going on, is not so rotten. But in order to defeat this Hornet, Scott had to go quantum, below the molecular level. But he made it back. Which makes Hank think, well, there's a way to make it back. So, even though he has not allowed Hope, his daughter, to don that suit, in our mid-credits scene, he's like, your mother and I were working on an upgrade for her suit. And we see the Wasp suit that's going to be hers. Because, of course, next time the Wasp, it's Ant-Man and the Wasp next time around. So, she will, he's finally, now that I'm guessing it's because there's a way back from that quantum realm. Maybe she gets to be involved. They do save the world, keep the technology away from Hydra. And Scott gets time with his daughter. It's a heist film. It's a science fiction heist film. And it's not bad. It doesn't feel like a superhero film. It feels like a science fiction heist film set in a world with superheroes, because he does do battle with Falcon. And they do the thing where, like, they explain, like, the problem. And I love that Scott's first comment is, we should call the Avengers. Which is true. But Hank doesn't trust Stark because of Stark's father and his involvement with S.H.I.E.L.D. when S.H.I.E.L.D. was trying to do the same thing to backwards engineer the particle and get the technology that that they're now fighting. So he's like, he doesn't trust them. So that's why they don't call the Avengers, but they at least bring it up. Like, we should do this. Why aren't we doing it? This is why. So it's fun. It was a fun movie. But that does mean that I have finished Phase 2. Ant-Man is the final film of Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 2. Now, hopefully I can manage to watch other movies for a while before moving on to Phase 3. Because once I get into the Marvel movies, I have trouble moving away from them. Because even the ones that are just moderate are still good. They're still a fun watch. And I still love it's moving things forward. It's setting up these characters that I know in future Avengers films are very important. Right? So, I have now finished Phase 2. And I will call it a night. Thank you for joining me. Join me as my journey continues.